Okay, I just spoke to the nurse. Her name is Magena. I was trying to tape, and I told her I was taping, so it's not illegal. But my video, something happened with it. But this was the conversation I had with her. The doctor has put me on my old protocol that I used to have. I had this protocol. Sorry if it's backwards, but I had that protocol. He's putting me on labetalol, lisinopril, and aspirin, which is a protocol I had in 2018. Um, that I told him about because my blood pressure was not well controlled at this point. There was a little hesitancy. I did not tell him I need to be placed back on this protocol. What I did say, so that I'm very clear, because it's at the fresh top of my head right now, is they were initially going to send me home without the same protocol of drugs that I've been getting inside of the emergency or inside of the hospital, I should say. And that was Keurig, labetalol, lisinopril. I was getting those drugs for high blood pressure, along with there's another one that begins with an N, nefazine or something like that. They were going to send me home with all of those drugs except for the labetalol. And with the labetalol, my pressure was kind of normalizing at 170 over 90 or something like that, around there. That's kind of was the range. And that was with them pushing the labetalol through an IV. And so I was concerned that he was not going to send me home with the labetalol along with the other classifications or the other drugs. He was not going to do it. He said he does not prescribe that because it comes in IV form. When he said that to me, I had to, no, he didn't say it. The nurse said it to me, but she had him on the phone, and that was her. I'm guessing he said that to her, and then she said it to me, or maybe she came up with that on her own. But what she did say he said was he was not going to prescribe that. I said, okay. And she said because it was an IV and you're not going to do IV at home. I said, well, I know for a fact labetalol comes in a pill form. With labetalol coming in a pill form, it could be given to me at home. And since that's what they're doing right now, they're giving me 10 milligrams of labetalol. They're giving me all these things. Anywho, now the nurse just came back to me and she said that the doctor is taking out the Keurig and he's replacing it with labetalol altogether. I said to her, because I did tell the doctor what my old prescriptions were, I said to her, I don't have a problem with that. I said, but if you look at Keurig, if you go to their website, it tells you not to just stop taking the drug. So she said the doctor had already taken out the Keurig for me to take, and that now they want me to take the labetalol, the aspirin, and all of that, which I have no problem with. I know labetalol. My issue is if you've been giving me Keurig in the hospital for the past 4 to 5 days, what's going to happen, especially when your manufacturer warns not to get rid of or not to stop Keurig, all of a sudden you're not supposed to do that because it can cause problems. And that's exactly what they're doing. So this is why I'm making this video, and I'm going to post it to YouTube. Because I can't afford and I just told this to the nurse, I said, I have to be more of an advocate because I usually just do what the doctors tell me. I try to do what they're telling me to do. But I have to be more of an advocate for my health because it seems to me that the ball may be dropped. I've had several instances here at the hospital. The people are very nice. I have so many nice nurses that have come, and they are very sweet. So that this is not a complaint against them. I love them as people. They are kind, they are helpful, they care. But I also have had some instances where mistakes have been made. For instance, the doctor came to me and he said to me, what did your doctor give you previously? And I told him, I said my previous doctor I gave him the list, and one of the drugs on the list was hydrochlorothiazide, which is a diuretic. And I told him that. He said he would communicate that to the nurse. The nurse came in. She had the drugs that I was supposed to take. not hydrochlorothiazide, but hydrocortisone. And before I let her and I've been doing this with the nurses since there was a mistake in the ER where they tried to give me insulin. When I first got to the ER, they tried to give me, I think I was there a day. They tried to give me insulin in my blood. The nurse had come, or someone had come and took my blood sugar, and they told me it was 126 because I always asked for my numbers. It was 126. About 20 minutes to 30 minutes later, they had moved me to a different part of the emergency room, and someone came with insulin. And she said she was going to give me 3 meals of insulin. And I asked her why. And she said, "Don't you take it at home?" And I said, "No, I do not take insulin at home. I take glipizide at home." She began to look through the thing, and she was like, "Oh my God." And she was like, and I think she was saying, "Oh my God," I could only guess, because she was about to inject someone with sugar that was pretty normal for someone who had just eaten. She was about to give me insulin. She put the insulin back, and she got upset, and she turned to the other nurse, and she was trying to be calm, and she said, "This person is an idiot." And she started talking about whoever put that in. She was like, "Why would they put this in here?" And she had the needle getting ready to insert it. So after that, I started asking questions. "What are you giving me?" Okay? Because overdosing on insulin can kill you. After that, I started asking. So in this situation, I asked the nurse, what was she giving me? When she started listing all of the drugs, she started telling me every drug she was listing. When she got to hydrocortisone, I said, "Do you mean hydrochlorothiazide?" And she was like, "No, hydrocortisone." And I said, "I don't take hydrocortisone unless that's new." And she started saying, "Oh," she made a couple of phone calls. And after she made those phone calls, she called down to someone, and she was like, "I don't know why I have this." And she had like a bag of stuff for me. And she was like, "I don't know why this is being pulled." And she told the person, as soon as they get the right drug, which was a hydrochlorothiazide, she asked them to please get the right drug. So I took all the drugs except the hydrochlorothiazide because she did not have it. She had the wrong drug. This is such a scary thought. And this is a premier hospital. I am at Wellington Regional Medical Center. I am not taping any of the people's faces here for their privacy. I would never want to get anyone here in trouble. Again, my nurses have been absolutely fantastic. I'm not complaining about them, but there have been multiple mistakes here. I don't know if it's, my husband was saying it's probably due to COVID, so much stress. I've had, and I'm going to show this so you guys can see it. You will see, I'm going to get out of the bed if I can. And I'm walking over here because I want to show you guys something. And this is the Sharps. I hope you guys can see it because I can't tell whether you're seeing it or not. But this is the Sharps container in my room. As you can see, they're all hanging out. My Sharps container is full, and it's been that way since I got in here about 2 to 3 days ago. They keep saying they're going to bring somebody. The reason I'm showing that to you is because I want you to see how what's happening. I found, because they pulled, I'm going to show you where I had an IV line. This is my IV line. I don't know if you can see it. Well, you can see where they took it out. I had an IV line taken out because it had gotten old. This is normal. When they took it out, they were supposed to put it in there. It was on the floor. The Sharps needles have been on the floor, and my husband, when he comes in to visit me, he takes them, he picks them up, and he puts them in there. That's how dangerous it is. I know that the nurses here are overworked. When I was in the ER, it was like one case after another. They are working hard. It is not their fault, but they need help. And I can only pray that someone sees this video and maybe administration and really starts to help them, because it's crazy. these people are professionals. I saw one nurse get a can thrown at her, a ginger ale can. I didn't see it, but I saw, not see it, but I heard, I'm sorry. And, I asked her about it, and she told me what happened. And I was just telling her, I'm so sorry, because I was trying to figure out, what was that? But this is kind of where we are. And, the people at the hospitals, they need help. I'm not blaming them. I'm not angry. But I'm creating this because I want other people to see and understand the importance, of being an advocate for yourself, being aware. And I know a lot of people are not, when you're feeling sick, even me, when you're feeling sick, it is so difficult to have these conversations, to do what is necessary for your health. But I'm showing these videos to let you know that even in an A+ rated hospital, these things can happen. The wrong drug can be given to you in the ER, and people bottom out. And I know for a fact, if I'm at 127 and you're giving me insulin, it's not a good thing. Or 126 and you're giving me insulin, it's bad for me. You understand? I don't know exactly what it would do because I am not a physician, but I know at blood sugar of 126, I don't need insulin after a meal. When I was in the AR, I hadn't even eaten before. I had missed a couple of meals, and then I ate, and I was at 126 after a meal, which is normal. So, I've had a couple of situations. The nurse who, when she caught that, she was trying to get it fixed, but I got moved to a room because they couldn't get my blood pressure down. That nurse said she was going to fix it, but I got moved. When I got moved up here, they tried to give me insulin again. And I had to tell her, no, I'm not supposed to have insulin. So it's things like this that really make you really have to question it. And because of COVID, a lot of people cannot have their families in the rooms. I know in the ER there is no family allowed. So you really have to begin to understand what's happening around you, and be an advocate and speak up, because if not, mistakes, and they really are mistakes, nobody's trying to kill me, and that's not what I'm saying. Mistakes can be made, and they are so crucial to your health. So you really have to understand. I'm going to be taking you guys on this journey to health. For me, this is, I've had some health challenges, but for me, this has done it. It has really convinced me that perhaps a channel on YouTube or something like that needs to be created to help individuals who are going through it, and to do it at the moment. So I'm going to be creating a channel to allow you and take you on this journey with me to get to healthiness. Because if for any other reason, mistakes can be made, and I have to be careful. Even at the hospitals, the people are wonderful, but they're overworked and they're tired. When I tell you it was case after case after case in that ER, and even with that, the nurses, and they were just so sweet. And you could tell they were being overworked. To have a can thrown at you in the ER, one lady fussed out another nurse because she brought her dog, and she said it was a service dog, but the dog was growling at the nurse. It was the craziest thing. And when they told her that, the dog needs to go, she said, no, I need a supervisor. And that dog stayed after growling at the nurse and everything else like that. It's craziness here. And the nurses, I can't speak too much of the doctors because I don't see them that often, but I can tell you these nurses are out here working the hell out of this job. The nurses, the CNAs, even the people who clean up my room, who have been really trying to, but they only get in here ever so often. It's rough. And I'm making this video not because I want a nurse to be reprimanded, but for administration to really think about how they can restructure this. Maybe they need more staffing, more resources. But this is crazy. It is so crazy in these hospitals. So I'm going to sign off for right now, and I'm telling everybody, please stay healthy. If you cannot end up in the hospital during this time with COVID and everything that's going on, please stay out of these hospitals. Now, if you have to come because you got sick like me, I had a very, very high blood pressure. They don't know why. It wasn't responsive to regular drugs. They still haven't told me, and maybe they just don't know why any of that happened. But if you can avoid going to the hospital, if you can avoid it because you're not sick. Now, if you're sick, go to the hospital. That's not what I'm saying. If you are ill, go to the hospital. But if you're just coming, like they had one lady who came into the ER and she wanted a COVID test, and they were trying to explain to her that they don't do them. And she got upset and still was trying to bolster her way into the ER. That kind of stuff, that you can get a COVID test from Walgreens. They will do it for you through the drive-through, and I believe it's free. That kind of stuff, that's, you probably don't want to be in here for that. You know what I mean? Because there are COVID cases here. They're going to test you and everything if you're admitted as a patient, usually for something else. It seems like, from what I observed when I was here, since I have been here. But if you can avoid going to the hospital for a COVID test, and you can go to Walgreens, that might be your better bet. And it also relieves some of the pressure and some of the traffic coming into the ER, because I was a patient, but I saw so many people who were like really sick. One of the ladies in the thing near me, she was testing negative for COVID, but I was nervous because she was coughing up a storm. Sounds like she was going to hack up a lung. But they were saying she was negative, and they were trying to figure out what was wrong with her, and they did not know. And there was nothing but a sheet separating me and her. A sheet curtain. But it was like a sheet. And that made me nervous. I kept my mask on. So whatever you guys can do to stay healthy and safe, please do that. I'm going to sign off because this video is getting really long. All right. I'm still in the hospital, but I'm feeling a lot better than I was. All right. Bye.